So now, if you were to come out and say, hey, before I answer any of the questions, just bottom line, what's your rate? What's your fee? No, absolutely, that's what I'm getting for you, Demi. As a matter of fact, that's the reason why I'm even asking you these questions. If you remember, I'm not even going to go any further unless I can help you. So let me ask you a few more basic questions just to make sure I can even help you.
Connected to SalesRemastered.
You give them what you would say for the customer that I just want my rate. What's my rate, and the person with credit. Right?
Credit?
I don't want to pull my credit. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe those two things, because I think that's the biggest objection that I was going to get right out the gate, right?
Yeah.
Unless you have something else.
Yeah. So the reason why my opening in the script actually happens that way is because I don't want to give them the opportunity to say, okay, but what's your price? Or what's your fee? And so you'll notice within the first minute, I already got leverage from you, right? So I knew that you're paying the minimum payments, which means you probably don't have enough to pay above and beyond, which means this credit card debt is probably waiting on your FICO score. These are just common sense things, right? So now, if you were to come out and say, hey, before I answer any of the questions, just bottom line, what's your rate? What's your fee? No, absolutely, that's what I'm getting for you, Demi. As a matter of fact, that's the reason why I'm even asking you these questions. If you remember, I'm not even going to go any further unless I can help you. So let me ask you a few more basic questions just to make sure I can even help you. Now, the alternative, Demi, is that you can continue paying the minimum payment on your credit cards, which then will take much longer to pay them off. In the interim, it's weighing down on your FICO score. So if it's important for you to become debt-free and remove that $500 minimum payment out of the equation from your budget, I think I can help you, but I need to ask a few questions first. Make sense? So you're never answering it, but you're keeping them going along because you're just controlling the curiosity, right? Like bottom line, Daniel, what's your cost? What's your rate? Yeah, I'm actually getting that information for you. Watch, and then bring them back. Make sense? Now, credit pull is very intimidating, right? Because you're asking someone their social security number, and you're telling them I want to pull credit. And one of the things that I answered for you is one of these triggers is say, hey, I'm gonna pull a credit report. It's a trigger. It's like people are kind of wired to protect their FICO, and they think pulling their credit is bad. And so I'm setting up the precedence right from the very beginning and saying, hey, I'm not gonna go any further unless I know I can help you. Make sense? So right before I ask the credit and says, okay, well, it looks like I can help you. What I'm gonna do now is just go ahead and request a copy of your report. When I validate everything is in good standing, I'm gonna go and release the disclosures. When I request your report, what's your date of birth? Make sense? So they've earned it. I'm not doing it too soon. And there's reason for it. So they feel like they've kind of advanced that far and they are permitted to do it. Because oftentimes when we ask them and we're not actually prepared with enough leverage or built up kind of the momentum to even get that far, then it's just a normal question, right? And might just be like, okay, I'm gonna go and request a copy of your credit report. What's your social security number? All right, things like that's weird, it's awkward. Some agents, even to this day, will do the HMDA, like, hey, are you a male, female? What's your ethnicity? And they'll do it in order, which blows my mind, right? Because you don't need to do it in order. You can do it later. And you can also fill that in yourself, just based on their name, right? Smith, I'm sure this dude's not Chinese, right? Right? But I don't know, that's just me. So you gotta make it, more conversational.